What's up, guys? Team Stamp West, Discraft Underground Captain, and today we are here with one of our Underground members, Alex Tews.
What's up, guys?
Thanks for joining, Alex. And today we're just going to kind of talk a little bit about your adventure from the amateur level up to the open level and having a pretty good season.
Super cool. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely. So we're going to we're going to jump back to 2017, and I'm looking at the PDGA page kind of as we go here. So 2017, you started out playing two tournaments in intermediate, looks like two pretty big B tiers, and found yourself with a first place and a second place finish right out of the gate.
Yeah, that was a pretty exciting start for me, just kind of getting involved in the disc golf scene and seeing where I was at, and I felt like intermediate was a good starting point. And I guess maybe it was, maybe it wasn't.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people maybe jump up too quickly, and so I actually think it was a really smart move on your part to kind of start out at a level that you knew you were going to be competitive and get some really good experience early on, especially in a winning situation, which really in any division, no matter how good you are, is tough to do. So we'll jump into 2018. So you get two really good B tier finishes. 2017, jump over to 2018, and you're playing advanced. Yep. What was the move like for you from intermediate to advanced?
It was a little intimidating at first. I honestly feel like intermediate's one of the harder divisions because you have some of the guys who could be playing advanced and doing pretty well, but they know they can win in intermediate, so they kind of stick down there. So the transition was smooth, but you definitely notice like the competition bump, and but it's nice to be playing with guys who are consistently like right around the same level that you're at.
Yeah. What would you say was you jump up to advanced? What was the kind of the biggest difference that you noticed right away from intermediate to the advanced level players?
Just the overall shot quality. People were taking their time with their shots. They were really thinking things through a little more thoroughly. It kind of seemed like intermediate was kind of a more relaxed vibe. You just kind of got up and threw what you thought might work. In advanced, you're kind of analyzing things a little bit more, it felt like.
Yeah, I'd say that's true in my experiences as well. So you get into the 2018 season here. You started out jumping right into advanced, and again, beginning of the season, had some really good finishes. It looks like you had a third at the Riverside Challenge, a first at the Prairie Open, which is a B tier, and then a really nice second place finish at Standing Rocks, which was another B tier.
Yeah, that's my home course, so that's a fun one for me.
Nice. So do you feel like, kind of the AM2 experience, getting those wins kind of helped you with some confidence beginning of your 2018 season?
Yeah, for sure. Anybody who's played on like a lead card or a chase card knows that there's a special vibe to being on that. There's a little added pressure because you're at the top and you have to perform your best because you're with other guys who perform their best. So
yeah,
there's that added pressure. So to be in that situation once or twice before kind of helps relax the nerves a little bit, but still nerve-wracking for sure.
Yeah, always. So right after that, you qualified for AmNats.
Yep.
Traveled over here to Michigan for AmNats, and just talk about a little bit about AmNats and your experience at that tournament.
AmNats was a good one for me. It was my first like super big tournament, like you had elaborated on. I've played a bunch of B tiers up to this point. Came over, you graciously put me up and let me stay at your place for a little while, so that was super awesome of you. Got out and threw like one good practice round out there. It was, it's a tough course. It's daunting to go out there and play. And I was still relatively new to the scene, so I didn't have a whole lot of friends. So it was kind of me going out playing by myself. And it's a tough course to go out and practice by yourself and try not to lose any plastic. So
yeah,
I kind of felt like my preparation wasn't where it needed to be. I had watched some YouTube videos of the past to try to learn a few lines here and there or whatever. But performance didn't go as well, but it was a great learning experience for me. I got to play with Clint Calvin, who ultimately won. Silas Schultz, he's a huge name now.
Yeah.
So played with some big dogs and learned a lot and made some super awesome friends. And it kind of motivated me to, continue pushing to where I am now.
Yeah. Talk about, playing at that kind of a level of tournament versus a B tier. What were some of the things that were different for you, whether it was mentally or, you talked a little bit about trying to get some good practice in on it being a tough course, but as you kind of look at the mental side, were there some things that you did to prepare for a big tournament with that aspect?
Yeah, I think I was still a little naive as to how much the mental game played into golf at the time. So I kind of was relying. I feel like I relied more on physical ability than having strong mental game too, which is kind of a setback. But having I qualified based off of ratings, so to have one of the higher ratings in the event made me feel confident. I'm rated with these top dogs. I can compete with these guys. I should be here. So that was a good morale boost to start. But then with how the tournament kind of wound out, it was mentally taxing for me because I didn't play up to what my rating was, and I didn't play up to what I thought my potential should have been and could have been.
Yeah. So some good takeaways. I mean, I think everybody at some point has a bad tournament, and I think a lot of people, some people will get defeated by it and say, do I belong where I am?
Yeah,
And so, after that tournament, you talked about, you didn't quite meet your expectations. What were your thoughts kind of after that to sort of fuel yourself to keep going?
I had talked to Clint Calvin a little bit. We had a really good round with each other, and I talked to him about his preparation and how he treated the game. And I follow him avidly on social media, and he really focuses a ton on putting and just becoming a better overall player form wise. So it was conversing with some of those top dogs and just kind of going back and reflecting on what I thought my points of weaknesses were and what I thought I should work on the best that would help me, grow the fastest overall.
Yeah,
Putting for sure.
putting, always putting.
As well as
Nice.
throwing the shot you're confident in. Not the one that you can hit every now and again, but the one that you're gonna hit absolutely without a doubt. That was one of the bigger takeaways for me.
Yeah, I've heard pros say that too, specifically Brian Earhart and Austin Hannum. When I've watched them play, is playing the highest percentage shot and then really relying on your putting. I think those guys aren't looking to get underneath the pin every single time. If they're in a tough spot, they're just looking to get within the circle and kind of give themselves a chance to save par or have that birdie putt and rely on the confidence they have in their putting. And I think that kind of relates to your point too. The putting practice, taking the high percentage chance, and then kind of falling back on your putting that you're gonna make those putts.
Absolutely.
So we'll jump up to Ledgestone. A couple B tiers after AmNats. We'll jump up to Ledgestone, where spoiler alert, you won. So talk a little bit, about Ledgestone. AmNats not too far behind you. Kind of a disappointing performance, and then you come to Ledgestone and get, a monster win in the Amateur One division.
Yeah, Ledgestone was super, super incredible. Honestly, even thinking about it to this day, it seems surreal. I laugh at the fact that you joke that you were more pumped for me winning Ledgestone than I actually was for winning it.
Yeah.
It was great. I felt like I was playing to the level that I should be at. It was cool to challenge myself on an A tier basis. If you don't count AmNats as kind of like that A tier field, this would be my first true A tier tournament that I participated in. So it was incredible to play against a bunch of people, and on a tournament like Ledgestone where it's got the name and the hype and everything to it. It was super awesome and pumped in. I was locked in and ready to go for it, but it was pretty intimidating still.
Yeah, for sure. Would you say that your kind of mediocre finish at AmNats by your standards fueled you to perform better at this next tournament that was kind of at a similar level?
Yeah, 100%. I'm my hardest critic. I'm hard on myself every single day, and every single tournament I'm even harder on myself. So after AmNats, I was like, if you really want to push for this, you got to prove to yourself that you can do it. And I put a lot of time and effort into it, and luckily, at Ledgestone, it paid off, thankfully.
Yeah, sweet. So we jump up, you play 2 more B tiers, and then you play your first open tournament in October of 2018, trying to get your feet wet. It's a good progression, a logical move after winning a big A tier like Ledgestone. Do you remember playing open in your first open tournament?
Dude, I do, and it's only because we honestly had the craziest weather. It snowed and sleeted, and it was a 40-mile-per-hour wind, and it was just the most unreal day. But it was a good time.
Nice. Well, so 2019, you jumped in full time playing open and are having a really good season. I'll let people kind of go check out your PDGA page if they want. But making that move from AM1 to open, again, what were some of the big differences that you noticed kind of in the quality of players or just the tournament feel as you move up to the open division?
The biggest thing, like you said, like quality of the player, the quality of the shots. When you play kind of at that AM1 level, the top guys in AM1 can throw some crazy bombs. They can throw 400 feet, hit some ridiculous lines, pound some insane putts, and then you get to open, and literally everybody can do it. Like they can hit those lines. It's cool for me because I'm one of the guys in Wisconsin that can throw 500 feet and have a big arm, but it does, what does it matter if I can throw 500 if Joe Schmo can throw 400 and then can a 100-foot putt? So it's just the skills are all so well rounded and everybody's so talented across the board that you just have to be on your game at all times.
Yeah. So you had picked up a couple of wins this year. It looks like two or three wins now, right?
Three, yeah. One, 2 C tier and 1 B tier.
Yeah. So your first B tier win. Is there a different vibe being on that open lead card versus the AM1 lead cards, or is it kind of a similar kind of pressure and atmosphere?
There's a similar pressure and atmosphere. I would say so far with my luck, a lot of the lead cards in open have been super relaxed. Everybody's incredibly encouraging and having a good time. You have a lot of that in AM1 too, but I feel like AM1, everybody wants to kind of, you want to prove that you're meant to be and prove that you can win. So you try a little bit harder and you're a little more serious about it. When you're in open, you're competing with guys who are great and can win at any moment. So it's just taking it all in and enjoying the ride for sure.
Nice. Well, that kind of concludes everything that I sort of had on our agenda, just sort of touching on some of the differences as you've kind of moved up and just sort of looking at your progression, both in these tournaments, but I think also on the mental side, definitely want to touch on that too. I feel like, when you're looking at your AM2 days versus your open days, how far would you say you've come on not only on the physical side, because obviously your rating increases, you've got some open wins, but, is the mental journey just as long as the, physical and skills journey?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've learned so much about myself and how to manage stress and what really grinds my gears and gets me going and what relaxes me at the same time too. So it's a battle, but you got to keep doing it. And Brian Earhart actually recommended a really good podcast. And I travel quite a bit for work and obviously playing disc golf a lot. I travel a ton. So listening to podcasts, it was like the Golf Science Lab or something like that, and they focus a ton on mental health and that increasing that mental game. And it focuses mostly on golf, but ball golf has the similarities of disc golf. So I listen to a lot of podcasts about that too, and I definitely feel like that helps me out.
Nice. Awesome. Well, that's everything I got. So we're happy to give you a minute or two if there's anything you want to add at the end here. Anybody you want to thank or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to give a huge shout out to obviously Discraft as well as Infinite Discs. Those guys are my two main sponsors. They're the ones that sticking their neck out for me in the beginning and really giving me that starting point and giving me the confidence to continue on this journey. And thanks to my parents and my brother and just my family for always supporting me and always being there. Girlfriend Katie, who always comes along and carries the bag for me, helps relieve some of that stress out there. So just everybody that supports me, it's incredible, and I really appreciate it. It helps keep me smiling all the time.
Awesome. Well, you're having a great season. We hope you keep it up, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. Thanks for having me.
You bet.